So, hello everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of the Reflection series where we share stories that recharge and rejuvenate us. And today we have a wonderful speaker all the way from USA, Harsha Madhutanapalli. Harsha lives in San Francisco. Professionally, he holds a master's degree in computer engineering and has been working as a senior enterprise architect in MNCs. Currently, he is pursuing masters in counseling and psychology. Harsha has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for over 20 years, and he regularly facilitates retreats, workshops, wellness programs at various Brahma Kumaris center at different places. And the title of the story that he is going to share with us today is Exploring How to Navigate Through Life. Harsha's journey dwells into understanding life's intricate tapestry, from deciphering the why behind events to exploring the profound interplay of actions, perceptions, emotions, and their effects. So, very interesting idea there, or a journey there. So, without any further ado, I would like to heartily welcome Harsha to this program and welcome you to share your story with us today. So, welcome once again, and it's over to you to share.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet the global family. And my journey through spirituality started when I was very young. I do remember I am youngest in the family. So we have five siblings, and I'm the youngest one in the whole family. And I grew up in Hyderabad. The place where I grew up was Old City. And I vividly remember what I was going through when I was very young. So my siblings, my brother and sister, they used to run around happily, and somehow I was not that actively engaged in the games and toys at that age, like around 5 years old. Um, I remember what I was thinking. So I do remember that I used to think like, why things the way they are in the current world. And somehow I used to have some heavy feeling. I don't know what was that. And as I was growing through, and uh, like I said, in Hyderabad, it's a old city where in those days there used to be riots between Hindus, Muslims, and I have witnessed some of those. And then I used to think more deeper because during that time, one of my close friends who is a Muslim, he was also killed in the riots, and that really hit me. And that really made me think and ask this question like, what is going on? Why things are happening the way they are happening? And how to navigate through this situation. And this is when I was at the age of around 6, 7 years old. Um, I do remember 7 or 8 years old, and the story also I know why they were killed. There was some atrocities done on Muslims, and whole of them did some atrocities on Hindus, and each one have a very solid emotional reasoning why they did what they did. So then I used to think like both sides have a valid reason, but is this the way to deal, or is there an exit for this? I used to think about this a lot because I have seen this and I have felt it personally. And as I was growing up around at the age of around eighth class, when I was in one of my closest friend, so we both were coming back from one of our tuition, And on the way, I went ahead, and behind he was coming with his brother. And all of a sudden, he met with an accident, and he died instantly. And then I was not aware of it the day after I went to his house, thinking about what happened to him. And then, I have seen her mother so devastated. And even after 10 years or 20 plus years, her mom didn't recover from the shock of losing a son. So that was very personal for me also. And I also was asking this very question, like, what is happening? What is life is all about? And how do we navigate through this? And what is the point of all of this? And I've been thinking about it, and I used to have a very heavy feeling, and I could not explain why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And one, I used to live in Hyderabad next to an exhibition grounds, a big exhibition grounds, and it's a time around January where inside that they have a big exhibit, and one of the exhibit is there is a big temple that they have. And the temple they have all of this, it's very they created a very beautiful um, feel. As you walk in, you get this ancient feeling as you walk into the temple. And it is built for the exhibit, and that has all these 12 main temples of Jyotirlingas of India, Bara Jyotirling that they call. So that they built a replica of all of them, and it was a real human size temple. I remember vaguely, no, vividly, I do remember. As I walked in, I had this strange, ancient feeling as I'm walking through. There is this deep sense of longing that was flooding my heart as I was going through. And there is strange pull that I had as I was going through. It was a huge, like 12 big temples, the 12 different corridors. I was going through each and every one, and this feeling I never experienced before. A sense of belonging, sense of longing. That experience stayed with me for a long period of time. And as I walked out, and there was a exhibit, there was a booth where uh, the booth of Brahma Kumaris, that they had this main concepts that they share about who we are, who we belong to, where do we come from, why things happen the way they happen. And then they quickly introduced the concepts of their ideology. And I was very young. I was attracted to more to that pictures rather than the concept. I could not comprehend much of the concepts. And this was at the age of 7 years age, around my second class or something like that. And I was going through those pictures. I remember the pictures, and my dad took the book with all those pictures. And that is the first time I came across a book where spiritual concepts were presented in a very visual format. I used to go through that visuals, and I used to comprehend what does this image mean. And then I used to feel, oh, this feeling is not a good feeling. We have to go over this. There is some other way to feel this. And then instead of understanding our sense of being through the events and through the incidents, through visuals, I was trying to comprehend something which is more than uh, the life driven events, experiences that is more than life driven experiences. And I used to spend a lot of time flipping through those books, flipping through that tiny book. They have like some 20, 30 pictures in that. And the concepts are all in visual format. And it was really beautiful picture book. And that is when I was at 7 years old. And that is my first encounter. And when I was going through, and as usual, I was feeling low one evening. And I don't know why am I feeling the way I was feeling. And all of a sudden I felt this wave of soothing energy, I could clearly feel the heaviness of my heart lifted off. I was seeing something else is happening, and I felt this beautiful light lifting me up. Me, in a sense, my emotions were all lightening up, and I don't know what was happening. And I still remember that experience. That light surrounded me, that that experience held me in that place, and all my heaviness started to lift off. And I still, my mind was still going on why things are happening, but I was not feeling that way. My feelings have shifted. My thinking was still there. Why is this happening? Is this the way world continues to happen? But my thinking was thinking, but my feelings has heavily shifted after that profound feeling of love, lightness, and support. Um, and that was around second, third class, which is around 7, 8 years old. And that feeling stayed with me for a long period of time. That's it. That was my beginning. And that became my anchor. And afterwards, I haven't seen the people who put that exhibit until I came back to US. And then I did my education. Uh, I had to go to a boarding school during my junior college. And then from there, I went to engineering college, which is also a boarding school in Tirupati. And after that, I came out and then joined the company. And immediately after a couple of years, I ended up, after joining the company, I had this feeling of I got through, I got a campus placement, and immediately I felt like, okay, I am successful. And immediately I got into a company. Within few months, I felt like the life became routine. Is this what life is all about? And then again, the same feeling hit me back. Like going to office, doing the job, making money, doing the same routine day in and day out. Maybe there was an ambition of going out of country, going to America, whatever that thing is. And I was going through that emotions, and then I was thinking, like, is this what life is all about? And I was getting really dry emotionally, and and experientially, I was getting very dry. So then there are a couple of other friends of mine. They were also thinking the same line, and they are from IIT. And they say, like, we get through this IIT and I got in here. We are doing the same thing. What is a part of life? And he is more into, he came from a military school, and then he wanted to do some adventure. So then we went to go for a foothills of Himalayas. And then we aim for let's do a hike to Mount Everest base camp. And in that journey, again, I had this strange feeling. There is some profound sense of, as I was exploring through what do I want in my life, as we were going through the hike, I had this strange feeling of strange sense of calmness that was coming in. And then all of a sudden there was a heavy snow, and then we could not make it. But that trip was a turning point for me. And after that, I ended up getting into US and then start doing my job. And then same thing, US, it accelerated the whole situation. Because at least in India, you have festivals, you have people, you have family, you have events. There's a lot of distractions that keeps you moving forward. But once you go to US, there are no festivals. 5 days a week means 2 days you are all by yourself in a week, and you do the same routine stuff. After within 6 months, you get worn out emotionally, and then you really start seeking for what is life is all about. And again, it all hit me back. What is life is all about? And I start continuing to uh, follow through whatever understanding I have. Nothing worked for me, and then my attention went back to my childhood memories. That memory which I had in that exhibition, where I got a chance to get my hands on that book with all the pictures with the spiritual concepts. And yeah, as I was going through, and then I got in touch with Brahma Kumaris, and then after almost like 25 years or some 20, 25 years later, first incident of interacting with Brahma Kumaris. The next interaction is after 25 years in America, when one of my friends took me to the center. And then the day when I walked in, all of that feelings come alive. And then since then, I'm staying there and I'm doing my services and all of that stuff. So that is my journey into the spirituality. And as I was I've been with this practice of Raj Yoga meditation for the past 20 plus years, which really helped me to navigate through a lot of the questions, not just as a concepts, but emotionally, how do you handle it and regulate it and things like that. And especially as I'm also uh, do facilitate retreats and do workshops. Uh, and lately, I found more and more young people are coming with really difficult situations. At a very young age, they're struggling with depression, they're struggling with anxiety, they're struggling with panic attack for no good reason. They're going through real heaviness in the body and then they could not get through the day. And that really pulled my attention back to how meditation is not just an exit, or spirituality is not just an exit. It is something that helps physically, not only managing our emotions, but also it helps with managing our body. And especially that took me into this journey of psychology and journey of neuroscience. I did couple of courses on neuroscience and understanding what do we know about brain so far and how it works and what functions are there and what functions are used for what faculty. And again, my attention went back to what functions or what faculties of the brain are used in spirituality and stuff. And especially when it comes back to depression and neuroscience, my attention, I'm doing more practices around it, which really helped me personally. And also, I started using this as a part of my sharing, creating this retreat space and stuff. So, especially my insights out of all this journey is most of the time, in the name of spirituality, when our focus is more on the concept, we can go so far. But when we use these concepts to regulate our emotions, when we do emotional regulations, what I found is majority of the mental health problems are rooted in subconscious mind due to this unhealed traumas, childhood traumas, or phobias that have been built over a period of time, or through wrong coping mechanisms that we have created. So these deep rooted emotions are leading to a lot of mental health problems. So one of the healthy way of coping is learning to how to regulate your emotion. And that is where I have been experimenting and exploring more on how the functions of brain, when we exercise those functions, which leads to some experiences, which is that experiences which are going to heal our traumas, which is going to heal our emotions, which are not going to happen by just by listening to the concepts, by comprehending the concepts. You got to feel your way through all of this journey. And that is one of the biggest insights that I have been excited about in the last couple of years. And I'm experimenting with it and I'm exploring it. And this is something which I found whenever I share and lead this kind of practices, which helps them to regulate their emotions, make it a experiential practice, make any practice an experiential journey, not a conceptual or not a intellectual process. So then I have seen people, also traumas changing, their symptoms are getting better, and so more and more people are taking benefit. And I strongly feel when we manifest spirituality in physical reality, it will heal lot of traumas which are subconscious, which are deep rooted, that can help with the current day problems of the world. Om Shanti.
Thank you. That's a very interesting journey that you have had, and especially the uh, how a little incident, or it is just a book in your case, which you had read at such a young age, but the impact it had, uh, you may have forgotten what was written in the pictures probably, but the feeling stayed on for decades, more than that. So it's such a beautiful thing to think about, how profound a feeling is. And as you shared, it's not just the concept, but what shifts inside is kind of what stays permanently with you. You've been practicing meditation for such a long time. Uh, Definitely, based on your experience and what you shared, there is a shift that happens. For someone who has, just started practicing meditation or is thinking of starting to begin meditation, how how would you say, for them to get some encouragement, that how soon can things shift? Is it quick? Will it take a lot of time? Or, do they just keep patience and keep going and it will happen eventually? Or what would you like to say about it?
Mm. A very valid question and very relevant question, especially one of the things um, when it comes to what should I do? How long does it take? Am I doing it right? How do I know am I doing it right? These are the standard questions I keep hearing. So I always fall back on my personal experience to respond to these questions. And one of the things, based on my realization, when I set my intention to experience, not to understand, not to even follow the process. Sometimes, in the name of process, we become very technical, wherein we miss out on the real thing, real purpose, which is to feel. So, in other words, what helps to get the traction of this abstract thing called spirituality is your sense, your feel for it, right? So, one thumb rule which always helped me throughout my spiritual journey is feel your way through a process. Use anything that you want to, but make sure whatever you are using, it is leading to an experience. Either it could be a concept, or either it could be an affirmation, or either it could be some story, right? But whatever you're thinking, let it shift into a feeling. Think that which leads to a experience. And that thinking is what we call positive thinking. It is not just saying some positive statement in your head again and again, and your feelings are ruffled up and down. And this will lead to one of the unhealthy coping mechanisms. The very process of positive affirmation will backfire when your attention is not on the feeling. You keep telling, I am good, everything good. And deep down, you're really upset. You really hate the things the way they are happening. And you're not doing anything about it. And then you're just repeating technically in your head. And that unhealthy way of coping or misuse of a right technique will backfire. In other words, you lose faith in truth itself. So I strongly recommend people, if you're not feeling, If you're not getting the traction to feel for what you're saying, don't do it. Stop it there. Give enough time. Do something else that leads to that experience. And sometimes, when one of the things that work for me and that I always recommend people is, see, when you're really upset, don't go sit and then meditate in a corner. Go out in the sun, get on a treadmill, go for a hike, get on a track, go for a bike ride, go for a swim, do something that shifts the feeling. And again, the beauty is you can start the shift, this journey of experiential journey. It does not have to be conceptual every time. You can start physically. You go for a run, you feel better. You go for a mm, walk on a beach, immediately start feeling better. Bring your attention back to how that feeling feels like. Hold that feeling and then take that to a thought and hold that feeling and let the thought sustain that feeling and hold that thought, make into a visual and hold that visual, let that visual be a container, that container filled with that pure sense of self. You're surrounded by that pure feeling and allow yourself to stay there. Let this journey, even though it is starting superficially at the physical level, and then you bring your attention to physically how you feel better. Allow that feeling to guide into your mind. Allow your positive thought to sustain that and let it manifest into your feeling. And create a visual where it becomes a container in which all of this pure feeling is sustained. And that is more sustainable or long lasting thing. And again, coming back to how long should I do? It all depends on how deep am I engaged. And how deep am I engaged is not how forceful are you with yourself. How deep you're going to experience is how relaxed you are and how much you're enjoying the journey. The more you're enjoying the journey, so you naturally start feeling that, oh, this feels good. And your attention naturally gets drawn. You don't have to force your attention to stay with it. So again, it comes back to a sense of feel. And when you're enjoying that feeling, your mind stays there. So the way to increase your concentration or your engagement with the process is also to enjoy and then feel it and enjoy that feeling and allow that thing to go deeper. So every time you reiterate it again and again, it is not an effort, it is not an extra thing to do. You enjoy doing it, and then slowly it becomes so natural that you sustain it and then you reproduce it and you stay in that state for a long period of time. And again, it comes back to when it comes to a measurement, how long you stayed in that feeling, how naturally you stayed in that feeling, right? How much you're enjoying it. So then this is your measuring things, your feelings, how long, time, your feelings and thoughts, how much you are naturally staying in that, right? If you're enjoying, you don't have to force, you naturally stay longer.
That's very beautifully put with the Harsha. So, it's and you have so well described, and I'm sure it's coming from an experience of such a long time that you have practiced it and you have experienced it. And I'm sure the viewers now have a very clear idea of, how to kind of get started. And with that, maybe if I can request you to give a short meditation commentary for, say, 5 minutes, so the viewers can actually get a practical experience of how to do it too, if that is okay, please.
Sure. Mhm.
Thank you.
Wherever you are, prepare yourself physically and mentally for the next 5 minutes. Clear your space, clear your ambience, and prepare your mind for the next 5 minutes. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to accomplish anything in this next 5 minutes. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a gift of time and bring your attention to yourself. Bring your attention to your sense of physical self. Gently scan through your body and observe how you feel physically. Now take the support of your breath, a healing breath, the breath that carries a gift of love from Mother Earth. With every breath, this life energy of oxygen flowing through your nostril, through your throat, into your lungs. Try to feel this coolness of this oxygen. Try to feel the effect of this healing oxygen, this soothing energy flowing through your throat, filling your lungs, and flowing into your heart, relaxing every muscle in your heart. As you relax, your heart opens. This loving energy, a gift of love, your breath, fills your heart. Feel the love filling your heart. Open heart. As you feel, your heart relaxes. Feel your heartbeat. With every heartbeat, this loving and healing energy radiating out of your heart and radiating into your arms, your elbows. Feel that sensations in your wrist. Feel the pulsations around your wrist. Feel the energy in your palms. Feel the tinkling sensation, the very life energy, and allow this energy to flow into your legs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, arch of your feet. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Each breath is like a wave of calming energy washing through your body, leaving a residue of calmness. Now follow your breath like a fountain of calmness raising into your brain, the soothing sensations raising between your eyebrows, this calming energy spreading all over your forehead, melting away all the stress around your temples, the soothing energy filling the sockets of your eyes. Feel the calmness washing over your face, the soothing energy seeps into your brain. Each breath a fountain of calmness flowing into your mind. Calm mind. clearing your mind, clearing the space in your mind. Feel a calm mind. The mind which is well rested, the mind which is very spacious, filled with this calmness. Every breath, feed that mind space with this pure sense of lightness and let this energy slowly start seeping down deeper and deeper, flowing through your spine, shifting the whole energy of your body, lightening up the energy of your body, dissolving any physical awareness into this pure sense of loving lightness. Stay in that light, be light, stay absorbed in this loving stillness. And try to acknowledge this is me, not as an idea, but with your own experience. Register this experience, how it feels to be light, and allow this awareness to stay alive for the rest of the day. Om Shanti. You are that being of peace.
Thank you so very much, Brother Harsha. That was a very beautiful, soothing experience, a very calming experience. And I'm sure the viewers have now got a even more clearer idea of, how meditation can give you an experience just within a few moments. So thank you so much for sharing your time, wisdom, and experience with us. It was a pleasure having you on this episode today.
Thank you very much, Lata, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, everyone, and have a beautiful rest of your existence. Om Shanti.
Thank you. And we would also like to thank our viewers for joining in. And if you would like to know more about us, please do visit our website www.brahmakumaris.org.au. All the programs and the addresses of our centers, retreat centers, are all available there. And we hope to see you sometime. So thank you once again. And we will be back with another interesting episode and a wonderful story. Thank you.